This is Andi Purewal for ID Boxing. I'm joined by Roman Fury out here in Saudi Arabia. Roman, it's been a while since I saw you first time, and the last time I saw you was actually after your pro debut. So, how have things been since?
It's been good, I can honestly say I've very enjoyed myself after the fight, maybe a little bit too much. But that's all done now, it's strictly business. I've been in camp for the last 12 weeks with Tommy. I've got another 2 weeks until I'm out on the 11th in Bolton. Just lapping it all up and training hard, and I can't wait to go and put on another show. I feel like I've improved 10 times over as a boxer. I've got new trainers now. I've had Alex Matvienko, Bob Howard and my father in my corner. So I've been sparring twice the amount of times I was last time. So yeah, I can't wait.
Let's just obviously stick with yourself and your career progression. Going back to your pro debut, it's something a lot of people dream about. You went about it differently in comparison to your brothers. It would have been easy for you to go onto a big show, onto one of their undercards, but it very much seemed to be that you wanted, I don't know if you might disagree, but maybe go on your own path and maybe under the radar, but just to get your grounding, your footing in the sport. Would you think that's fair to say?
That's 100% correct. I've had the opportunities already to get on these big shows, but the way I see it, I've had no amateur experience, and I want to make sure I do it right. I'm not going to rush it for some money or whatever other reasons. I want to win titles, so I've got to do it right. I've got to gain the experience on these small little shows, which is great, fighting good experienced people, and then naturally progress, as you do. Everyone starts out on these shows and then naturally progress. Tyson did, Tommy did, so that's how it's going to go for me as well. There's no difference.
That level of progression, and you look forward to 2 weeks' time when you make your second outing. How are you looking to move forwards with your career as this year goes on?
Yeah, I only had one fight last year. I was supposed to have three, but it fell through reasons. But this year, 100%, I got a minimum of 4 fights. I believe the key to me now is just getting active, learn, get these good people as well, not just pushovers, and see where we go from there. Take each fight as it comes.
How much do you feel you've learned in the time in between fights, and obviously being in camp with your brothers? How much do you feel like you take away from them?
Yeah, you're always learning because Tyson's been around it years and years and years. He's not really much that you don't know, and you're always learning. Just to be around it, you're going to naturally soak up things, even subconsciously, and that's what I've been doing. You train your body, but equally you train your mind, and that's what I'm big on at the minute. You can have all the skills you want, but you need to be able to handle it under the occasion when the crap hits the fan, so that's what I've been working on as well, and that's what they're big on.
Roman, I'm sure you've probably started to see now the sport at times can be quite a dirty place. A lot of people who might come into your life now because of your name and thinking there's something there that they can exploit, they can take away from you. Have you seen that start to come through it all? Have you had people approach you who, if it wasn't for maybe the advice of your brothers, of your father, of people who are in and around you, have been involved in the sport for so long, you see they're trying to take advantage?
Yeah, I've heard things, my manager Jimmy Harrington's been around the sport a long time, and he's the one that's got me into boxing. I'm going to stick with him, and I've got a very level head on my shoulders, I'm not going to go jumping into things when people approach me, I've got a good team around me as it is, and I'm going to keep sticking with them.
You mentioned at the beginning of this you want to go on to challenge for titles, win titles. How do you see your career progressing until you reach that point where maybe it's an English or a British, however far up you see yourself going?
What do I see myself winning?
Now, in terms of like how far off would you say those types of titles would be for you?
Hopefully, if it all goes well, I want to be challenging for titles next year, definitely. So I'll get a good few fights in this year and then straight to it. Obviously I'm a late starter. I want to be challenging next year. The way I see it, if you've got it, and it's going to come out. I feel like I'm a quick learner. I'm working out in the gym and I'm picking things up. You're going to see in my next fight as well what a complete difference. It's going to be like a different fighter. So yeah, next year I'm going to be challenging for titles.
And Roman, just away from yourself here, Saudi Arabia, your brother Tommy gets ready to face Jake Paul. There's always kind of question marks whether we would ever see this fight, but here we are, we're only a matter of days away now. How has Tommy found this camp, and going in with somebody who I imagine is the first time, there's a real kind of intensity and almost like a grudge match now for him to look forward to?
100%. There's been a lot of build-up and a lot of personal things said. So it's a massive fight, but I've been in camp with Tommy for the past 12 weeks, and this is the best Tommy I've ever seen. It's the most focused, the most disciplined, and it goes off what I've been seeing in sparring as well. He's been inspiring with great people, one in, one out, constant pressure. He's been absolutely destroying them, and these are good men that in my opinion would beat Jake Paul on any given day. So I can't wait to see what he's going to do on the night, and I know the pressure's not going to get to him, so really for him, you can sense, can't you, like an energy of how they're feeling during the week, whether they're nervous. He's been so relaxed, so calm. He knows he's going to win this fight on the 26th.
There were reports that came out that Tommy had actually stopped and started to kind of take out some of his sparring partners, Roman. Now, I know what happens in the gym stays in the gym, but can you give us any more information around that?
I don't really like to speak it out of respect, but you know, he's, he's 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 been kind of, told to hold back a little bit on his power. It's something's clicked in Tommy now where he's realised his power and he's focusing more on those ones and twos rather than those threes and fours. Because 3 and 4 bad shots not thrown properly, it's not as good as one shot thrown with correctness in it. So that's what he's been doing.
You've just led into my next question so well, Roman, because one of the things we've seen with Tommy, he's always gone into his fights, he's looked for that big finish, and it's not necessarily, always come for him. Especially go back to the Fury White card when he fought on there. A lot of people expect him to get his opponent out there, dropped him, and he never was able to finish the job. Looking at him now, are you confident that with Jake in the opposite corner, Tommy can get that knockout that he's spoken about so openly in the build-up to this?
Yeah, I'm extremely, extremely confident. Like I said, it's a different Tommy now. He's got a different mindset. And in other fights, yes, when he's had his manner, he may have, slightly tensed up and not, been that composed, looking for the finish. But now he knows, as soon as he gets his manner, don't panic, don't rush into anything. Lay your shots right and get him out of there. As you've seen with all these other great fighters, no one rushes into it. A good finish will come. Just keep boxing, keep relaxing, it'll come.
Jake, as everybody knows, isn't a normal boxer. Some people still question whether you could class him as a boxer or not. What have you made of watching him in the sport and him getting in with Tommy? What do you look at in terms of his attributes that he does well and other attributes that he doesn't do so well?
Listen, Jake Paul has proved he's got bollocks, he's got nuts. He believes what he says, as you can see by the bet they've done yesterday. He's here, it's happening, so I've got to credit him for that. He has got a good right hand, hasn't he? But apart from that, I'm being honest with you, from what I see, I don't see anything else. He's not quick on his feet, he's heavy-legged, and he's not very athletic. Tommy, on the other hand, is all of those things. Fast hands, fast feet, hard hitting. And experience. Experience is a key. You can't teach experience. The only way to gain it is through getting in there. And he's been doing it since he's 12. So I think these will be the tells in the fight for me.
A lot of people in the boxing world yesterday were commenting on the face-off, and some people suggested Jake looked nervous. Did you see that yourself?
Yes, I did. I think he's a little bit rattled. I think he's been rattled all week just by some of the videos I've seen going deep into personal things with Tommy. So that's for me is the signs of a rattled man. He's not very relaxed. But we'll see. It could all be a ploy. He's a clever man, Jake, and he's been proven to be able to handle a big scene before. Every fight he's had has been like a headline, hasn't it? So we'll see on the night.
Roman, what have been your thoughts on some people in the boxing world choosing Jake and believing Jake will beat Tommy?
Yeah, listen, everyone's entitled to their opinions. They must be seeing something I don't, but I don't know. For me, it must come, they either look at him as some sort of celebrity, Love Islander, instead of an actual boxer, which he's been doing all of his whole life. So if they're looking at that, and even his last performance was an exhibition, he was told beforehand not to go and throw his punches properly. It's an exhibition, you go and put on a boxing show. He's won before that. The Anthony Taylor fight. They're looking at that because obviously Anthony Taylor's been in Jake Paul's corner. But listen, when a man comes and he's smaller and he comes to survive, anybody can look bad. Anybody who's in boxing will know that. So if they're looking at these things, they're gonna probably think that they can do it. But from what I've seen, he's got no chance.
Jake Paul's obviously had a few choice words of his own. He's said that he's going to decapitate Tommy. He's going to take him apart. He revealed the birth of Tommy's baby before Tommy had the chance to do so as well. How personal is this to go and have those remarks to reveal such a personal piece of information as well around Tommy's new baby?
Listen, it's below the belt. We both know that. But for Jake Paul, it's all to try and get inside his head to rattle him and take him off the job at hand. But Tommy knows we've all kept him well assured. No matter what this man does, don't put any hands on him. Keep focused on your job and let your fist do the talking on the night. Hit him when you can, so just let it go in one ear and out the other, and that's what he's done. Everything that Jake Paul's doing, he's just tried to rattle him. He knows now the only way to beat Tommy Fury is to rattle him and get him angry and just, that's it. But he's not going to do that.
Roman, your father and Tyson have all commented on, if somehow Tommy wasn't to win, he'd be disowned, he'd lose the Fury family name and what have you. Away from the cameras, just as a family, is it ever jokingly brought up behind the scenes?
Not really, it's all to hype the fight up, build the fighter, which you can understand. My dad will say some things and Tyson will. Tommy's not thinking about too much. We're a close family and we're all very confident that Tommy can do the job, otherwise we won't be putting him in. So at such a young age. But yeah, it's all laughing it. But trust me, I wouldn't like to have that pressure on my shoulders.
And just moving away from Tommy, obviously you got Tyson out here as well. Everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen with Alexander Usyk fight. Speaking to John yesterday, he said that Alexander needs to fall in line. He needs to show Tyson more respect and understand it's not a 50-50 split. It should be more favourable in Tyson's favour. Do you echo those thoughts?
100%. They're fighting in the heavyweight division, and Tyson's proved to be the king of the heavyweight division. Usyk has the belts, but Tyson has the most important belt, the WBC, and he's also the linear champion. So he's never been beaten. He has held all the belts. So yeah, for me, the ball's in Tyson's court. So Alexander Usyk's got to understand that, and let's get it on. It's a big money fight for both, so it doesn't really matter who's the A side, but it should be Tyson.
What do you think would be a fair split between the pair of them?
60-40.
So I haven't had a chance to ask anyone else in the team, so I'll ask you. Some promoters talk about how there could be a deal agreed where both fighters get a guaranteed 40 and then 20% is up for the winner. You'll be confident Tyson will be confident he wins, as would Alexander. Do you think that would be something that could be explored, a 40% split guaranteed and then 20% going to the winner?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like if you're confident in winning, why wouldn't you take it? I'd take it if I was Tyson. At the end of the day, it's up to him, and I think he would take it as well if that was offered.
Right, Roman, listen, I know we've got to wrap up because you've got other people waiting to speak to you, but it's a pleasure as always. You didn't know that, did you?
Bloody hell.
So, yeah. There's more to come as well, but I'm sure I'll catch up with you again soon, so thank you for speaking to me.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye.